And when my 4-year-old son saw him, he was like, Noah! And then later on, he said, Noah is my best friend. I just wanted to point that out. My legal troubles are so extensive right now that my 4-year-old thinks that my lawyer is his best friend. That's how often we're seeing him.
Now, French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte are suing Candace Owens for claiming that Brigitte is secretly a man who transitioned or identifies as a woman. Kinsey, this story is wild.
French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte filed a defamation lawsuit in the US on Wednesday against right-wing influencer Candace Owens over her claim that France's First Lady is male.
You are officially a very goofy man.
Connection so closely to this story that you want to do an expose docuseries about whether Macron's wife started it. Like, it's just obsessive to this point. And even the way that she responded.
She'd be obsessed over it if she wants.
I mean, but even the way she responded to the lawsuit was like very much like, oh my.
Bonjour, everyone. Welcome to Dem Divine Channel. Today on the Hot Mess Express, Candace Owens is in a battle with France and has gotten herself into legal trouble. Yes, she is finally getting sued by a president. Brigitte Macron and her husband Emmanuel Macron are taking Miss Owens to court. Candace has shifted her focus from Kamala Harris to the First Lady of France, after Owens allegedly ran a smear campaign on Kamala Harris that may have costed Harris the presidential election. Now, Candace seems to have forgotten all about Kamala. She appears to have committed herself to a tirade against the French leadership, not just French people. Nope. France's leaders, the entire country and its First Lady, Brigitte Macron. Brigitte is suing. Let's break it down. After Candace terrorized U.S. citizens with her endless faulty background checks on Kamala Harris's entire family during the recent U.S. election, Miss Owens, America's favorite political troll, may have believed that she would look smart if she could prove that the First Lady of France is a man. Miss Candace took her audience down a whole new rabbit hole and released an 8-part docuseries called Becoming Brigitte. Now, Miss Smarty Pants Candace Owens has put her finances in danger because she is definitely getting sued by the Macrons. We believe that Candace is going on another ego-fueled trip to prove her intelligence to the world. Candace has chosen to publicly enter the internet rabbit hole of transgender investigations. Candace Owens is openly backing an internet conspiracy theory that says Brigitte Macron is actually a man named Jean-Michel. Candace also claimed on her YouTube channel that the Macrons are secretly blood relatives because apparently they're French and live in a Wes Anderson movie, and that Emmanuel Macron was a CIA experiment. Girl, this isn't a lawsuit. It's an episode of X-Files, Franco edition. Order in the court. The defendant is charged with 1 count of weaponized Wi-Fi, 3 counts of just making stuff up, and 22 counts of defamation with a side of delusion. So now Brigitte and Emmanuel Macron, yes, the president of France, are dragging Candace to court in Delaware because nothing says international political scandal like filing your lawsuit in the same state where people hide their yachts and LLCs. The Macrons even sent Candace 3 letters like, "Hi, here's Brigitte's birth certificate, school records, and literally every receipt ever." Candace replied with, "More episodes." Sis said, "Thank you for the facts. Anyway, back to the fan fiction." Now Owens is screaming free speech. Let's be real. Becoming Brigitte doesn't appear to be real journalism. It's just a conspiracy smoothie blended with ego and served in a podcast cup. And Candace is drinking every sip. As usual, Owens says she's not backing down. Great. She can add international defamation defendant to her LinkedIn right between provocateur and part-time historian of nonsense. Some people believe that Candace is a secret Russian asset. Candace Owens said that she believes that Brigitte Macron used doctored photos of her daughter as her younger photos. She also believes that Brigitte Macron is actually her brother Jean-Michel Trogneux, posing as his sister, who Candace claimed must have died. Owens seems to be completely unaware that relatives usually resemble each other and may have similar facial features. The Macrons are taking Owens' allegations seriously and have filed a lawsuit against Owens in the United States. The couple claimed that Brigitte Macron is indeed a woman and was not born a man. They have denounced Candace's beliefs as completely fabricated and stated firmly that Jean-Michel Trogneux is her older brother. Trogneux, who is currently 80 years old, lives in the north of France in the town of Amiens, where he and Brigitte grew up along with 4 other siblings. Their family was famous for its local chocolate business. Candace Owens must not have been aware that Jean-Michel Trogneux was present in public on multiple occasions, with his sister Brigitte at her husband's presidential inaugurations in 2017 and 2022. Please make sure to like and subscribe to Dem Divine channel and let me know what you think about this situation in the comments below.
I told y'all Candace Owens was getting paid to run one of the largest smear campaigns against Kamala Harris. I was crazy, right? But now she's trying to backtrack and blame it on Christianity as to why she no longer supports Trump. It's not Christianity that's got her concerned. It's the fact that they're not paying her anymore, and she thought that her husband in proximity to whiteness and slandering Kamala Harris was gonna get her on the up and up with Trump. Promised her a seat just like they promised everyone else a seat, but guess who didn't get one? Because they're still a black woman. And I don't know why you thought you were the exception. You were not the exception, you were the rule. Forget, you were posting 12 videos a fucking day during the election talking about Kamala Harris and why no one should vote for her. Let's play the video.
But I want to say this, quite seriously. 4 years ago, in 2020, I had no kids. It's an incredible thing to think about. I had 0 children, and now I have 3 children. And I'm so serious when I say that I was so concerned about Kamala winning that my husband and I were having serious discussions about what will happen, what can we do, what is our option. And I know that we're not the only family that truly thought about where will we go if
you want to get on here and cry baby tears and say no one told you that Trump was going to be like this. He was never like this. Everybody told you. And you were going to college campuses with fucking Charlie Kirk debating feminists and black women, calling them wrong and saying they had equal privilege as a white man. They paid you for a job. You did that job. But see, just like everybody else that the Trump administration took that job from, that they were offered during the election, you're not going to get that seat that you wanted. You're not getting the seat in the administration that you thought you were going to get. No black person ever was, especially not a black woman. And now you're trying to go back to your other blogging page to try to rekindle some of that money you were making during the election. Not happening, Candace. We know who you are.
This is just torturous interference. This is basically like, I want to make it so that nobody will work with you, and since I know that Candace is a really hard worker, and I know that people actually love her, that her entire team loves her, we're going to pretend it's the opposite so that other people who might want to work with her go, maybe not. She's like throwing canned drinks at people. She just gets angry at makeup artists and just like throws a soda pop. She's just like, take this Coca-Cola. I don't like the way my lashes are done today. That is the actual phase that we are at now, in the absolute desperation to defame me and to tarnish my name.
It took a toll, and then resting him a little.
It's crazy how Candace Owens' fan base is now attacking her the way she has attacked other people. Calling her trans the same way she tried to attack Michelle Obama. Chef's kiss. And now the leopards are on the way and we can only sit back and enjoy the show. But it does make sense, the need for acceptance. it does make sense. Now, it makes sense. The need to constantly have to pander to a group of people makes a whole lot of sense. I can honestly see what happened. I can see what happened. But that's what happens when you make your entire career about loving a group of people who make it extremely clear that they dislike you or anybody that looks like you. But I'm sure she will find a way to try to spin it around and tap dance for the masses. Because the same energy you're getting is the same energy
Tell me about how black people don't have enough power to be racist. This chick is actively working in support of white supremacy. That is her project. I am trying to get black people to understand that black people absolutely can be racist, because the notion that we can't is exactly what gives more power to someone like Candace Owens. Her whole shtick is it can't be racist if a black person says it, which is obviously not true. She says racist things.
I think Candace is definitely Russian. Because the Macron thing, France is Russia's number one enemy right now. France is pushing the Ukraine war more than any other country. They are Russia's number one op, and that's because Russia is overthrowing all of the French-aligned governments in French West Africa. Niger is where France gets a lot of its uranium for its nuclear power plants. France runs on nuclear. That's like a big problem for them. And that's just one example. So France and Russia are effectively at war. And so you have Candace going out there spewing all this stuff about Brigitte Macron is Emmanuel Macron's dad, and Emmanuel Macron is a Jewish agent. And yeah, it just stinks like Russian propaganda. So I totally buy that. I totally believe.